Good morning. How big is your event? How big would you like it to be? Have you ever wondered how the big PGA Tour events do it? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone. My name is Phil M. Mordino, and welcome to another GTAA webinar. For over 30 years, we've had the opportunity to work with thousands of golf tournaments around the world. We've also worked with many PGA Tour events. And so we get to hear what works and what doesn't work. So our job here is to bring that information to you to help you produce the best golf tournament possible. Today we're going to look at something a little bit unique. We're going to look at the big events. How do the big events do it? We're going to dive deep into things that you may were wondering about how some of these big PGA Tour events do it. So let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about, first of all, the Phoenix Open. We're going to dig deep into the Phoenix Open and what does that look like? We're going to talk about their event and dig deep into their volunteer committees. We're going to talk a little bit about their what their responsibilities are, how they get everything done. We're going to look at their golf courses and where they use or participate the Phoenix Open. We're going to look at their major sponsors and how they get them. We're going to look at pro-ams and what does that look like. We're also going to look at some of their parties and activities, as well as their media coverage. And if you stick with me to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus idea that will really help you. So let's get into it. Now, keep in mind that this call will be recorded. And so if you have to leave early or you didn't make it and you're watching us on YouTube, it will be recorded and I'll send you the link so that you can share it with your other committee members. Let me also tell you that this is just kind of an overview. We dive deep into each one of these categories in a separate webinar, and you can find those all on our YouTube channel. It's called the Golf Tournament Channel, and you can find that link on our website. So take lots of notes. I want this really to sink in. I want you to be thinking about your event as we talk about the Phoenix Open and how they do it. And you'll understand a little bit. Don't expect to be the Phoenix Open next year. They've taken years to get there. But at the same time, there's a lot of nuggets that we can learn from them to really help you in your event. So let's dive in. The Waste Management Phoenix Open. What is it? Well, first of all, they could call it the biggest, the greatest show on grass. And let me tell you, gang, this event is big. We had the opportunity to go there last week, and it's here in Phoenix, in my hometown. And this event is huge. It has over 700,000 attendees over the week. They have a prize purse of over $20 million, and the winner makes 3.6 million. That's huge. And if you watched it, you got a little bit of a taste, but we're going to dig deep into how they do it. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea. This is one hole. This is the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open. And I'm telling you, this has seats over 25,000 people and they literally pack it out. There, in fact, there's a run at people are waiting 3 hours just to get a good seat into this stadium. It's simply a par three, but people turn into a huge event just by itself, and it's packed all day long for 4 days straight. And that's just one of the fun things that they do. This gives you a little idea of a small part of the major Phoenix Open. But I want you to know they didn't start off this way. They didn't start off as the biggest event in the world. In fact, they started back in 1932. They had it for a couple years, not a lot of interest, so they actually stopped the event for 3 years. Just because of the lack of interest. So don't get frustrated with your event in the beginning. But then Barry Goldwater, past senator and president candidate here in Arizona, pulled together a group called the Thunderbirds, which is a local group of businessmen in town. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. And they got them involved. And their very first major event, only the prize purse was $700. So as we dig in, I want to see what can we learn from them. Now, don't feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel overwhelmed with what they do and how they do it, but don't feel overwhelmed because they didn't get there overnight. It took them a long time, over basically 90 years to get to where they are today. So if you're just getting started, let's just grab some ideas and see how we can grow. Let's first look at their schedule. This is their schedule for 8 days. They start off with a concert the Saturday before, and it's a huge concert, and they get thousands of people there, and that's kind of to kick things off. And then Monday, they do a pro-am. They put a golf pro with local business people, and it's actually a free day to come in and watch this event because Ford Motor Company pays for all the tickets, so it's a free day. And then Tuesday, they have all types of fun activities. They have a clinic to teach you how to play golf. They have interviews with pros. They have a trick shot artist that comes out. They have a putting contest. I mean, just a full day of fun, interactive activities. Then Wednesday, they have another pro-am, a little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive with some celebrities, and they have a concert at night. Then Thursday, they start their very first round. If you know about PGA Pro events, they have two qualifying rounds, Thursday and Friday. They start off with about 150 golfers, and those golfers have to qualify. They have to be in the top half. So usually, 70 to 75 will make it to play on the weekend. Friday night is a huge party. They have a separate tent called the Bird's Nest, which is they bring in major acts. They brought in Maroon 5 to have a concert. And then the third day is Saturday. This is huge. It is so packed. It is wall to wall people. There's 250,000 just on that day alone. It sells out every weekend. And they again have a concert that night. Big, huge party. Lots of food, lots of drinking. And then Sunday's the final round, where usually ends in the afternoon. Typically, it falls on the same day that the Super Bowl does, so they want to wrap it up early so people can run over to the Super Bowl, which we had here last Sunday. But they have the awards ceremony right there out on the course, and it's just a fun full day. It's not as packed on Sunday, but it is definitely fun of activities. Now, why is this event so big? Why do people come to the Phoenix Open? Well, first of all, again, they've been building this up over 90 years. It's considered just one big, huge party for a week for all ages, all types. They get the colleges involved. There's a lot of kids involved. There's a lot of junior clinics. So it's just one big, huge party for 8 days. It's considered the social event of the year. People come from all over. They travel in just to participate in this social event. What's really fun is it turns into a fashion show. Everyone comes out and dresses up. Not everybody, but a lot of people will dress up in their fancy clothes and costumes. So it's fun just to look around at all the individuals and how they dress. They literally have entertainment every single day, concerts and trick shot artists and fun activities. Of course, they have the best golfers in the world, which doesn't hurt, and people want to watch them play. They play at a course called TPC, which is one of the best golf courses in Arizona. It's part of the TPC network, where it's literally was built in a stadium form to hold lots of people. It's spectator friendly. Every hole is kind of a bowl that you can sit around like an amphitheater and watch the golfers and have a great view. They have a merchandise store that's bigger than any retail store you've ever seen. They have every type of shirt, hat, ball, glove, you can name it, accessories. It's huge. All of it's logoed, so people want to buy it as souvenirs. And they also do all of this in the name of charity. There's no big salaries, there's no big paychecks, except for the pros, obviously, but they raise millions of dollars every year for charity. So obviously that tugs on people's heartstring. They don't mind coming out and spending a lot of money, and and that's why people come. And it tends to be an annual tradition for all of us. We like to go out. We went out on Friday and had a great time, spent 2 or 3 hours. Parking is a nightmare if you don't have parking passes, but it still is fun. So let's take a look at how they make money. How does the Phoenix Open make money? Well, first of all, obviously, ticket prices. I'm going to show you in a second. And then, in fact, I'll show you right now. They have ticket prices at every level. Again, you can come out for free, but they also have tickets for a one-day event early in the week. They have it for Friday and Saturday. They have all week passes. So they have all types of various tickets available for any budget. I remember just a few years ago, it was $25 to get in, and now it's $100 on the weekend. But there's all types of corporations involved who are obviously buying packages of tickets so that everyone can go and their customers can go. A major part of the money is sponsorship. As you know, and you've heard any of my videos in the past, sponsors are the profit. They make thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars in sponsors, every type of level. They have a contract with television, and you may know how TV works, but TV is very interesting how it operates. It all boils down to viewership. This gets a lot of viewership. Someone has to pay for the production, which is very expensive, but then they split the revenue. Obviously, sponsors help help cover that, as well as selling commercials within that TV program. Corporate tents, as you can see right there in that screen, that's just a very small part of the corporate tents. They sell for literally thousands of dollars. Corporations buy them so that they can bring out their customers and their employees and really promote their company. Food and beverage, I literally paid $7 for a pretzel, $10 for a glass of lemonade. So you get an idea that things are expensive, but people are more than willing to pay for that. Merchandise sells like crazy, hats and shirts and balls. And so they make a lot of money on merchandise as well as parking. Yes, most of the big parking is free, and you can definitely come out to that, but then you have to take a shuttle into the event. But you can get VIP parking. You can also get your car valeted, which there's a lot of money to be made there. So, bottom line is they make millions of dollars, and the good news is most of it goes to charity. So that's why they get excited. But there's tons of corporate activities. Corporations get involved. Like I mentioned, they can buy suites of every shape and size. They can buy what they call a greenskeeper pass, which is all the food included. Coors Lights has a cabana where you can rent. And when I say a cabana, it holds thousands. Obviously, corporations can buy packages. They can buy pro-ams, one of the two, one on Monday, one on Wednesday. And then there's all types of promotional opportunities, whether you put your logo on merchandise, whether you buy an ad in the program, but there's tons of advertising and website opportunities. So the bottom line is that there's thousands of dollars to be made in ticket prices. And I'm just trying to give you a little idea of some of the sponsors. Obviously, Waste Management spends millions as the title sponsor, but then they have a ton of smaller sponsors for everything from beer companies to website companies to car dealerships. So uh, companies love to sponsor golf events at elite levels. So that's something for all of us to learn. Now, here's one of the secrets to their success, and I want to tell you a little bit about why they are so successful. This is the core, and this should be the core for you: volunteers. The actual owners of the event is the Phoenix Thunderbirds. Phoenix Thunderbirds has been around for over 100 years. They're local business people, businessmen in the community from all walks of life. There's a lot of attorneys and doctors and construction people, and these folks get together to produce events that are community minded. Their whole goal is to serve the community. But every single one of the committee members on this board has a responsibility, has a special specified responsibility. Some may be in charge of parking. Some may be involved in television contracts. Some might be in charge of merchandise, but they put one person in charge. And you basically, if you're the chief, if you're the chairman, you give up a whole year of your life to be the chairman of the event, basically. So you better have some money in the bank so that you can afford to take off time. But what I love about this committee is not only are they responsible, every position section in that committee is responsible for something, but everyone is required to sell a certain amount. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it's $25,000 to $50,000, whether that is ticket sales, whether that's sponsorship. That's a requirement from the committee members. So to be involved, you have a bottom line. If you don't sell that much, you have to come out of pocket. So they make sure that they reach their goals. But the good news is they're all tied into the community. They have relationships with businesses throughout the valley, and they have lots of customers, lots of vendors, lots of suppliers that they work with. So I won't say it's easy, but they reach their goals every year. But another thing I like about this is the succession of the committee members. They don't just serve 1 year or 2 years, they build their way up. You work your way up the ladder. You start off maybe as a volunteer holding signs, and the next year you move to concessions, then the next year you move to parking, but you learn every aspect of it until eventually you are the assistant chief, and then you become the chief. And it's a succession there. It's a process that each committee member follows, and I love that about the Thunderbirds. So it's literally the secret to their success. The committee members make this happen. So keep that in mind when it comes to your committee. Regarding the process, again, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. This is not something they started and happened the next year. It's built over 90 years, and they had a long-term plan. They say they have a long-term bigger plan in the future, and they have detailed specific goals. They have detailed schedules and events and responsibilities. So when you're planning your event, keep in mind all of those secrets to their success. But here's some other things to be looking at and something that you should be thinking about, and that's the golf course. They don't go to just any run-of-the-mill golf course. This is one of the best golf courses in town. And they actually have two golf courses, the TPC Champions and the TPC Stadium. Or the TPC Stadium is the big one, and then they have the Champions course or the Desert course right next door. But it is, which they can still play during the event. Individuals can come out. It does cost about $250 to play the Desert course, but the Stadium course right now is around $350 to $400. So it is a top-notch course. It's tied to a resort, and the Princess, which is one of the highest beautiful resorts in Arizona. And but it's first class all the way, every step of the way. See, a fallacy that a lot of tournaments think about is that our golfers don't have very much money. They won't pay us very much money. But let me just tell you, gang, your golfers have money, and they will spend money if you give them something to spend it on. So don't be afraid. Don't hold back on getting a top-notch golf course. The the next thing that is important is the formats. The formats that they use, as we talked about earlier, they host pro-ams, which is simply putting a golf pro in a group of local business people. They also throw in a celebrity there, which makes it very valuable. Some individuals are paying $7,500 just to play in this pro-am. And I love pro-ams. I love celebrity ams. It's a great way for you to make additional money. So pro-ams and celebrity ams, they have obviously the individual play, which I love. They also have a team event. They have hole-in-one contests that you can win cars. They also have skills challenge. They have putting contests throughout the week. So there's a lot of interactive activities and formats that attendees can participate. Some of the special events that they have to keep in mind is not only the pro-ams, obviously, and the celebrity ams, but trick shot artists. They bring in, which is a lot of fun. They have concerts almost every night. They have clinics where you can learn how to play golf and improve your game. They have all types of interactive activities. They have a huge award ceremony. So just a fun week of activities. The other thing that they're very good at is getting the media involved. They partner with the media local stations. They broadcast it nationally. Everywhere you turn on social media, if you put in golfer in your profile, you're seeing ticket packages, you're seeing updates, you're seeing a ton of stuff. So media coverage is something that they've really done well. And signage. They don't use just little typical signs. One thing I notice about charity events is we all use these little plastic signs. Well, they don't use little plastic signs out at the Phoenix Open or any PGA Tour event. They use big banners, big signs, big billboards everywhere, which makes their event look big. So that's one thing that we can learn in how we can make our event look big. So I did promise you a bonus idea, which I'm going to give to you in just a sec. Um, but first, I want to talk about what we can learn from all this. What can we learn from the TPC, the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open? Number one, it's a long-term project. This is not going to happen overnight, gang. So you need to have a long-term game plan in how you're going to build year after year. Your volunteer committee is the secret to your success. Their connections, their relationships, their responsibilities, their connections. Uh, don't settle for a cheap golf course. Go with the best of the best. Golf course is very key when getting your golfers in line. Fun formats. Don't stick with the same old boring scramble, shotgun scramble every time, because there's all types of formats that you can use to get golfers excited. Major sponsors. That's where the profits lies in big sponsors. Have lots of activities. Have something for everyone. Not even just even if they're not golfers. Have fashion shows and interactive activities. Bring other people out to your event so that you can have they can have fun even if they're not a golfer. Partner with the media. We do a full-blown webinar on just how do you work with the media, social media, local radio stations, local TV stations, the newspapers, the magazines. But media is key in getting exposure, not only for your event, but your organization. Big signs, big signage everywhere. Make your event look bigger than it maybe necessarily is in the beginning, but make it look big and you'll fill the shoes. You'll get bigger, and big signs are key. And then have several revenue sources. Think about all the ways that you can make money, whether that's, sponsors, obviously, but maybe merchandise, maybe hole-in-one contests, selling, additional merchandise. There's all kinds of ways to make additional revenue. So we do a full webinar on the details of all the revenue streams that you have available to you. So I'm going to share with you that bonus idea, but real quick, let me just remind you, for those of you who are new, who don't know who we are, we're the GTAA. We've been around for over 30 years. So we have all types of ways to help you with your event. We have these free webinars. We have free planning tools on how to produce a golf tournament and how to do a night golf tournament, how to do skills challenge, and how to do pro-ams and celebrity ams. We have a complete book on all the games and contests. We also have all the videos on every topic. If you want to go to the golf tournament channel and look at our videos, we go into detail. We also have a certification program. If you want to take your career, your position in at your business to a next level, we have a certification where you can actually become a tournament certified golf planner. You can become a tournament certified golf course and give you credibility, gives you exposure. And then finally, if you need help to take your event to the next level, maybe turn it into a competition, turn it into a pro-am, celebrity am, we can definitely help you with that also. So keep us in mind if you need any help. Most of our stuff is free, but if you need to take it to the next level, we can also do that. So I promised you a bonus idea, gang, and here it is. And I want you to think about this. Consider partnering with an outside company. I know we like to say it's our event and wrap our arms around it and take credit, but listen, the bigger events partner with big companies. Quick little example: the United Way partners with Publix supermarket. Publix gets all the recognition and all of the exposure, but the charity United Way is the beneficiary. It nets over $250,000 every year because Publix is able to bring in their vendors and suppliers as sponsors. They're able to bring in their customers as participants and players. They're able to offer their employees the opportunity to play. But here's the key: look for a company that's community minded, that really wants to give back to the community. If you have an organization that serves the community, they want to get involved with you. So don't be afraid to reach out to some of these companies, partner with them, make them a vested partner so they have a benefit of the exposure and entertaining, and you get the benefit of the money. So don't be afraid to look for that and consider partnering with somebody else. So let me just bottom line share with you, gang. Uh, Very, very important. Let's take an overview. What did we just talk about? First of all, let's learn from the big guys. Let's learn from all the big companies that are out there, all the big tournaments, and how they do it. A strong volunteer committee is going to be the secret to your success, whether it's within your network or you partner with a bigger company. Consider pros and celebrities to bring them out to your event, and you can charge double, triple, quadruple to play in your event if you do a pro-am or celebrity am. Have lots of activities, not just the golf, but skills challenge, competitions, fashion shows, merchandise tents, trick shot artists, clinics, things that everyone can get involved in. Make your event bigger than just golf. Have events for people who don't play golf and turn your award ceremony into a big, huge party. Get the media's attention by having something unique and having something special. Partner with the media, with several sources of media, so that you can have a lot of exposure there, and then have several sources of revenue. These are just some of the things that we like to help you with, gang. I'm telling you, we can learn a lot from the big PGA Tour events, and maybe your event may never be a PGA Tour event, but the things that we can learn from them will help you grow your event, raise more money, get more participation, give your golfers and your sponsors some value. So we're excited about you and helping you and assisting you in any way that we can. Please give us a call, send us an email if you got any questions about anything. We're here to help you with your golf outing. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and hopefully you'll be with us next week when we have another valuable GTA webinar. So this is Phil Mordino signing off. Take care.